If you can follow up with someone who has shown interest 3, 4, 5 times in a row within a short period of time, 3 to 5 days, I promise you, you're going to turn the majority of them into paying customers. And there's nothing more valuable than turning followers into dollars so that you can make the biggest impact that you want.
Hey B, do you know what the #1 thing is on the minds of people who use social media?
What's the #1 thing, Craigie?
How do you turn followers into dollars?
Followers into dollars, baby. Welcome to another episode of the Empire Podcast with myself, Bedros Keuilian, and the handsome Craig Ballantyne.
All right, so listen. Everybody out there, they're handsome, they're beautiful, they're intelligent, they got followers. And they post all the time, and they get a few likes, but they're thinking, what's this all about? Is it really worth it? Is it worth all this time to go and do these Facebook Lives? Is it worth it to do this Instagram stuff and these stories and all the whatnot? So, is it?
Well, I say it is. I've sold franchises for Fit Body Bootcamp. I've sold mastermind coaching clients. Just this morning, I sold a bundle, just going back and forth with one, private message with someone on Instagram. Sold a bundle of my information products. And so to me, it's worth it. And I know to you, it's worth it.
Yes.
But the problem is a lot of people on social media care more about the likes and the followers and not so much the dollars. And the dollars are what matter if you want to make an impact.
Absolutely. And so as Bedros was saying there, it's amazing how quickly you can connect with the right people through direct messaging when you make the right post. So can I talk a little bit about my social selling there?
Yeah, I love it, man.
All right, so I have something called the Perfect Life Workshop. It's a $9,000 one-day event with me, followed with 6 months of mentoring. And what happens is, I go and do these events all over America. Actually, I've done quite a couple in Europe as well. And at the end of each one of those events, I post on social media. I take a picture of all the happy people at the end of the day, tag them, tag some friends, tag some people who should be at a future event, and I get lots of likes. And then do you know what I do?
What do you do?
Then every person who likes my stuff, I consider someone who's interested in attending the workshop, getting involved in the mentoring. That's the lead generation. It's like the classic getting people onto your email list through an opt-in on your website.
Can I share something there?
Absolutely.
All right. So you could really, what Craig is saying is, you could really look at all of your Instagram followers as suspects.
Oh, yeah.
And what you figured out how to do, which I think is brilliant, and do you call this the honeypot method, or what do you call it?
Yes, it is the honeypot method, followed by the monster follow-up.
Yeah. And I want you to explain it in a minute. But then you take all those suspects who are your followers, and once you post a picture of a completed Perfect Life workshop of you and all the attendees, and you tag a few people on there, and then when people like that, they go from suspects, don't they, to prospects. And then what do you do to follow up with them on the monster follow-up?
Well, then they have their hand in the honeypot. So it's the honey trap. It's like, just if you want to catch flies, you're better off to do it putting out honey than to put out vinegar. So here's what I found. When you put out something and somebody likes something, they are interested. And to me, that means, I've attracted them. I've got them interested in what I am doing. And so then I start the conversation just with a direct message. I send them a picture of the event, or I send them a picture of future events, of my calendar, and I say, hey, I'd love to see you at one of my upcoming workshops. So that's it. That's how I start the conversation. It's very nice and giving, generous, and just saying, hey, this is for you. Right?
Yeah, and it works every time, and here's why. A lot of people watching this are probably wondering, well, wait a minute, Craigie, how can I use this? And really, the simplest, fastest, easiest way, let's say you're an online nutrition coach. Well, if you're an online nutrition coach, you might post somewhere that, listen, we're all making a lot of posts on social media, and some of those posts, majority of an impact, in fact, are designed to maybe just to add value for free, right? And to position yourself as an authority and an expert. But let's say you're an online nutrition coach and like our friend Darren Mailing, right? Freak Fitness. And so if Darren is standing there with one of his fitness competitors who just got her pro card, and he's like, hey, I want to congratulate this woman who just got her pro card, and I've done the nutrition programming for her for the last 2 years, and here she is. The way I look at it is, anyone who likes that photo, see, all he has to do is now go back and reverse engineer and go, okay, 300 people liked the photo. Of the 300 people, looks like 52 of them, because you can just go and check, are women who are fitness competitors. He's got 52 leads, as far as I'm concerned, to reach out through direct message or some kind of a private message and just say, hey, you know what? Sounds like you might be a perfect candidate for one of these things. Why don't we get on the phone and see what it takes for you to become a client? It's that easy to start the dialogue.
And it's so funny that you mentioned Darren, because after I did a workshop in Florida, I posted a photo of my workshop and Darren liked it. And I sold Darren into coming to a workshop while sitting in the back of an Uber, because that's where I do most of my direct messaging. That's the great thing about social media, is you can use it appropriately. As our friend Joe Polish says, is a really great quote. Use social media, but don't let social media be used on you. So don't be wasting your time with it, but use it properly when somebody connects with you, likes you, follows you, or comments on one of your posts to get the conversation going. And then it's just a real quick check in. You should just have a simple process. I say, hey, I'd love to see you at an event. Then I follow up. If I don't hear from them, I use your monster follow-up system. I just make sure that there's several other posts that can go out. Sometimes I'll send them great content. Sometimes I will send them information about who's coming to a future event and why they should be a good fit with it. And it's all just about keeping the conversation going. And if you're always out there providing value, which you always teach people to do, then it's always going to be a fun, engaging conversation. It's not going to be threatening to anybody. And it is that monster follow-up applied to that honey trap method that just allows you to sell anything. We're not talking about $150 nutrition consults here. We're talking about $9,000 workshops. We're talking about $25,000 franchises. And you can do it because that's the power of social media.
Yeah, and in fact, here's a little hack for everyone, and you're welcome to use this as well. Of course, we'd have to teach you what that feature is on your iPhone to learn how to use it. So can I share something with our friends here?
Absolutely.
All right, so Craigie here has two phones, just like Pablo Escobar did. One of them is a 2009 BlackBerry. And when he
it's like a cockroach. You cannot kill it.
You cannot kill it. And when he sends me a text from there, randomly, it'll send me like another text and another text and another text. The other one is a state-of-the-art, cutting-edge, all golden bronze iPhone 17 or 7 or whatever it is, right?
The Canadian version.
Yeah. But God bless you, you don't know how to use 92% of the features on that thing. And he's closing deals left and right, sitting in the back of an Uber. But here's one of the hacks that I want to share with you and our audience here. So you got the notes section, right? You got the notes section of your iPhone. And I just put little snippets of comments that I want to give back, right? So people will send me a direct message and go, hey, Bedros, I saw that you did a mastermind. So when I run a mastermind, I'll take a picture and I'll post it online, right? And so I have two different things that I have in my notes section. One of them is a rebuttal, right? So you can post little rebuttals and, of course, questions to ask people when I bet we're on social media right now.
Right.
He's probably doing a story. Look at him, Mr. Closer, going to town here. But one of them in my notes section is a rebuttal. So people say, hey, Bedros, I saw you posted a thing on your mastermind, or you talked about Fitness Business Summit. How can I get more information? Well, you know you're going to answer that question a million times. And so I have it in my notes section already. I cut from the notes section and I paste it into my direct response. Easy peasy, right? So I've got about 17 rebuttals that way. And it's so easy to cut and paste answers, and of course, to cut and paste questions. Hey, I saw that you liked this mastermind picture that I posted. Looks like you're a fitness business owner. When are you going to come to the next one? Here's the link for the dates and deets. That's exactly what it said.
Got it.
Right? It's so, and then of course the link, 7figureformulamastermind.com. And when I'm sending that out all day long to people, or when Chelsea is sending that out, because at some point you're going to get to a point where someone else is going to manage your social media for you, and that's awesome. You teach them what to send out, but we're closing deals all day long on social media, and I believe I'm having a bigger impact by closing those deals and helping people take their businesses and their lifestyles and their ideas to their fullest potential, rather than putting out just pictures and 60-second videos of adding value. I'm there to add value to your life all day long, but the reality is, until you become my client, until they become your client, you're not going to be able to make a massive impact on them.
No, absolutely not. And so you should look at each social media channel as if they were a salesperson for you.
Yeah.
So for example, I was telling Bedros the other day, we just got an applicant for the Empire Mastermind from LinkedIn, and he goes, I post on LinkedIn? And I said, no, you don't, but I know Chelsea posts your stuff on LinkedIn. And so we posted one of our videos. Underneath that, someone said, hey, how do I get involved in this group? I actually do use LinkedIn, so I told him about the application form.
Thank God.
And so we have LinkedIn, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have YouTube, and we even have Twitter, which can actually still work if you use it properly. So you have at least 5 people out there selling for you, as each one of those social media people or social media channels is an actual salesperson for you. That's how you scale. That's how you elevate your business. That's how you grow from one franchise or one location to multiple locations. You can do it in any business, and another person who's doing an amazing job of this but could just tweak their systems a little bit better is our friend Steve Weatherford, who has a massive, massive following. So he has 300,000 followers on Instagram. He even knows how to use Snapchat, which you and I don't use yet. But what can he do to better bring in clients to his business?
So Steve Weatherford, for those who don't know, he played what, for the New York Giants?
New York Giants, 10 years in the NFL. He's a Super Bowl champion. He was a punter, but still, he's a Super Bowl champion.
And the most coolest thing he did was he told his hero story early on. And by the way, every single one of you have a hero story. Like mine's the immigrant edge. Yours is about the anxiety attack that was so crippling for you that forced you to create the perfect life where you have structure and discipline, and now you teach that to millions worldwide. And Steve Weatherford, if you go back and you look at videos of him on the football field, he was a punter and he wore those long Under Armour tights, right, all the way down. And he goes, "Hey, Bedros, do you know why I wore the long sleeve tights?" I go, "I just assumed it was cold, man." He goes, "No, I wore that in the summertime when it was blistering hot." He was embarrassed about the size of his arms. He just had skinny arms. And so the guy decides that when I retire from football, I'm going to go and I'm going to build 19 to 20-inch arms, and I'm going to be the guy known to help guys who have, that hard gainer arm and build 19, 20-inch arms.
And he's tall, too, so it's not easy.
Yeah. I mean, his arms are like legs. I call him the vanilla gorilla for that reason. I mean, he's got giant gorilla arms. Then when I say that, then I run so he doesn't catch me and kick my ass. But what's really neat about him is that he took his weakness, made it into a strength, and then has a massive 300,000 plus following on Instagram. And he's always sharing his workouts, his mindset tips, what he's eating, his cleanse that he's doing, all this stuff on social media. But the one tiny little tweak, if Steve Weatherford made this one tiny little tweak, it would be to hire someone right now, because, well, I suppose he can do it himself, but he probably doesn't have the time to do it himself. He needs to hire someone to then chase those people through direct message who like his workouts, who leave comments, who leave a direct message, follow up with them using the monster follow-up that I teach, and literally engage them and then convert them into sales for his product line of, he's got the Arm Blaster product line, shaker cups, workouts, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you see how it's a system. And so we actually kind of went about this the reverse way, but if you think about it this way, it's telling your story, it's building your social media channels, it is then getting that honey trap system in place where you have something that really attracts people into the specific product or service you're trying to sell, and then it is the peak down here of the actual direct message conversation where it then becomes one-on-one selling that you can scale with the notes tip and the hack that Bedros taught us.
Yeah, and so I'm going to teach one more thing because you kind of alluded to it, the monster follow-up, but our friends probably don't know what the monster follow-up is. So for gym owners, people that own gyms, boot camps, personal training studios, CrossFit boxes, I've got hundreds and thousands of them as on my email list and 44,000 of them as clients. I teach the monster follow-up, which is real simple. When you get a lead, someone's interested in your gym or boot camp, you might get a name, email address, and phone number if you're lucky. Well, if you do, you need to follow up with them twice a day for 4 days using email, phone call, text message, and I got a little trick. You take their email address, you put it in the search box of Facebook, and you can find them on Facebook if they're using that same email address. Send them a direct message on Facebook, send them an email, and the idea is you go monster on the follow-up process. And so Craig took that and he goes, "Hey man, I just do monster follow-up through direct message." And if you can follow up with someone who has shown interest 3, 4, 5 times in a row within a short period of time, 3 to 5 days, I promise you, you're going to turn the majority of them into paying customers. And there's nothing more valuable than turning followers into dollars so that you can make the biggest impact that you want.
Absolutely. And one last tip, if that's okay.
That is okay.
Everybody has one preferred method of social media communication. So don't get thrown off if you send somebody a direct Facebook message and you don't hear from them, or if you send somebody an email, or if you even send somebody an Instagram direct message. Some people just don't respond to most of those, and they have one where they will respond to you all day long. So just make sure that you use that monster follow-up system and get in front of them every possible way that you can, because you just need to get in front of that one social channel that they will use, and then you'll have them, and it'll be all part of your social selling system.
Followers to dollars, baby. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to the Empire Podcast Show. Remember to subscribe on iTunes, share it with your friends, and give us a rating. We'd really appreciate that. And make sure to go to EmpirePodcastShow.com to watch the videos as they come out.